the reason why he's so passionate about helping out his community, and more so where wellness, mental wellness is concerned with Bellevue, is because of his own personal experience with a family member. What do you make of what he said in that interview there?
First, I want to say something to Knight Rider. Sir, I applaud you, sir. And you're a strong man. As a parent with autistic child, I applaud you, sir. I really do. Enough respect to you, sir. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. That one slipped my eye. Echoing what you've said. Massive big up to Night Rider again. Thank you for sharing something quite personal with us. You didn't have to, but my prayers goes out to yourself as a parent, and to your child as well. I hope you guys are all doing well as a family.
I'm
Continue,
glad,
Mister.
Knight Rider, I'm so glad to see you, that it's now this happening, right? Because a few years ago, like, 15, 20 years ago, man, you could go so much with that child. What if that child was in, outside of America? You know, there's so much that we didn't know about artistic, right? And I'm so glad that, that you have the tools now, and much respect to you. Much respect to you, man. Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, that's
Leah
special.
Bailey,
That's another thing there, Mr. Lee. Sorry to cut you off. We've got CC Sports on screen. I'm actually glad CC's here because I'm going to be talking about, I think, his favorite player, one of his favorite player, no doubt. So I'm actually glad you're here. CC, you can chime in a second, but autism is something that I wanted to discuss on my
yeah,
channel
man.
a while back, and I actually arranged an interview to talk about autism with a professional athlete. Maybe that's something that I need to revisit. It's probably well over a year ago that that interview was supposed to come to fruition. But pick up yourself, Night Rider. He says, "Thank you, Jeremy and Crystal, for raising awareness. My pleasure, sir." And Cece's there driving as well. Back over to yourself, Mr. Lee. You were saying?
So, and yes, Knight Rider, please come back to this show, Kalawa and the Reggae Boys and Girls, on Supporters Club. Um, Let me give you a story, Knight Rider. Growing up, there was a lady next door and she sells stock stuff. Anybody know what that is? And she always behind the fence. We'd never see her. Her kids would go to the store and buy the whatever, the sugar and all the stuff. And so the kids grow up and get bigger. They've gone to America, so she had to come out. And when she come out, one of her feet was taller than one. And no one would buy a stuff or drop from her no more. That's how stupid we were back in those days. You know what I mean? That's how dumb we were. You know? Can you imagine that? Just because one leg is shorter than one, no one would buy her stuff no more. That's how dumb we were. But we have come a far way. And back to Leon Bailey. What Leon Bailey is doing for sale is a world of good. You know what I mean? And I hope more people can look at this. I kudos to him for this. Kudos to him for this. We can talk all this and that about it. We have to give this. We have to give this to him. We have to give this to him. He's doing a world of good. You hear me? A world of good. And I'm saying, I hope he took somebody's life special with that. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know what? It's important to have these positive conversations about Leon Bay. Before I continue on, big up CC Sport and also Chemo as well. I am so excited. We also have King Charles in the comment section. So I have four gentlemen on screen, and I know that they're a massive fan of one of these reggae girls that I will be talking about later on. So I'm hoping that they stick around. But I am so happy. I'm gonna actually let them in. I'm gonna message them in the private chat, right? But
Big up Sir W. Big up Sir W1.
Yeah, yeah,
Big
man,
up
Crystal,
yourself.
we
Thank
are
you for
here,
being
you know.
here.
We are
I'm
here
gonna
live
message.
and direct. Are you hearing me?
I'm gonna message you in the private chat so both of you can get a heads up as to what I'm gonna be talking about.
I just
Um,
wanted to know if everyone is hearing me, you know, because
yeah, we
Yeah,
can
man.
hear.
We're here, you good man.
yeah, my ears are open and my eyes is on the road, but you know,
Okay, so I drive.
yeah, I might not give any analogy tonight because I know sometimes some persons they can't handle original thoughts,
No,
so
man. Be
I'm
yourself, man. Be yourself, man. Be
I'm gonna take
yourself,
time.
CP.
I'll take time with them, but Yeah, with the Leon Bailey thing, as I said, um, that is always a good thing when people can acknowledge where they are in life, and to give back towards even their own legacy, and even towards looking at somebody that is not as fortunate as yourself and other persons who would have been in a situation and you wanted to help them, right? So, I mean, this is something that people, the same people who seeks to bash the player should be promoting this as well, because that's all they do. Like, for me, it's always about bashing, 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 but there's no promotion of when somebody's doing good, and that is the problem that I have with a lot of people. Like, their only thing is when they say they're not doing it for views, all of we are doing it for views. But guess what happened? The ones that when we say you are doing it for just views is the ones who just do it when you want to beat the person. So if every time you look at a video and you see somebody beating someone, but whenever that person does good, nobody is going back and actually acknowledging that that person does good, then therefore it means you're just doing it for the views,
Yeah.
because you're not doing it in terms of being fair and balanced. And that's what, like, nobody will blame you if the player doesn't play well. We all beat the player when the player doesn't play well. But when the player is doing something that is humanitarian and something that is uplifting, where are the videos? You understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying,
it's
Krista?
true.
Where
It's
are the
true.
videos?
Yeah.
Like, I
No, you're
mean,
right. You're right.
this should be all over. This should be all over. Like, you get what I'm saying? But it just shows a testament of the Reggae Boys Supporters Club, Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club. It shows the testament of Talawa TV. It shows the testament of CC Sports Hub. It shows the testament of Jeremy Lee. It shows the testament of how we are as an individual, or we are as an organization, and who we are in terms of not just as a collective but individually.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just shows the character. Some
Yeah.
people don't have no character. You understand what I say? They have none. Like,
Yeah.
they don't see this as them coming and beating a player and making money. Guess what happened? They don't understand. The fact that the player is out there publicly playing and everything, it gives you content. Your content, which gives you the ability to generate, if you want to call it 5 US, 10 US, whatever it is, in your pocket. So the least you can do is actually look at when the person does good. You promote the good as well, because you're making money off the bad. Why not make money off the good?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
like they say, positivity. Unfortunately, with human beings, positivity just doesn't sell. Like, if we were to do a live stream tonight where we were slating Leon Bailey, I guarantee you there'd be like over 100 people tuning in, because that's just what they want. They have an appetite for
Exactly.
negativity. That's just our culture. That's our
But guess
community.
what
Our
happened,
community of
Crystal?
negativity.
They will starve when it comes on to me. Yeah, man. They will be starving. They will be starving. Because if there's no negativity for me to give, I won't manufacture it. So
Yeah.
y'all be starving out there right now. I'm telling you. And
Now,
I remember this is CC, right? From CC Sports Lab. The same person that a lot of people say I'm a local advocate. So they're not going to be what do you call it now? Surprised of my comments and say, "Oh, I am just a local advocate and anything local I promote." Yes,
yeah.
everything local I promote, but you have to also understand everything Jamaican I promote. I am not the type of person to wait on when the JPL playoff is there or the finals is there to sound like an expert on JPL players. You never
This
did
is
not cover the
another
man from day
aspect to
one.
it
You don't
too.
cover him from day one. I am not the person who's saying waiting on Leon Bailey to score 50 goals for say, yo, Leon Bailey, yeah, I know. No, I'm not that person. I'm not the person waiting on Leon Bailey to be benched 3 consecutive games to bench on Leon Bailey. I'm not waiting on bad news for me to say, oh, I'm going to post this, I'm going to run with this. You understand what I'm saying, Christian? I am simply going to recognize when you do good, I'm going to recognize it in terms of off the field. If there's a situation like the interview that he did off the field, I would bring that up, but not now. But I'm just saying, whatever I think, once it's not personal, I'm going to
Yeah.
mention it, good or bad. Once it's not
Yeah. I think
personal.
it's interesting that you've said that, because I think it feels like it feels like the attitude within our community is you either have to be pro something and stick to being pro whatever that is, or anti something and then stick to whatever anti back in your, or anti whatever you're against, stick to
Guess
that.
what? Me a
It's like
Uncle Jamaica. Me a Uncle Jamaica. Me know about anti business right now.
Hold on for a second, CC and
it's
Crystal.
like it's
So, Damian Lowe, I'm sorry. Damian Lowe have a church that he does every year in his community, right? And you know, yeah, the media is there and some people do it, you know. But I think when CC said about Leon Bailey, it's because he's such a huge figure and he's doing for his club and not for the national team. He gets to beat it. But tonight, you know, what CC said, we need to put all that aside and give the man his flowers, you know. Kudos for that, CC.
yeah, I think like I said, I think in within the community is I don't know. It's a difficult one to summarize and to understand. I'm still trying to learn, but listen, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Whether you're pro again, whatever, or anti whatever, my thing is do whatever you feel is right. And try to be objective in doing so. Just do whatever you feel is right. Don't just always focus on the negative. Surely there has to be some positive with whatever message you're putting out there. But like at the end of the day, no one can tell people how to run their platform, to each their own. If you're all
Yeah.
about pro this or anti this, then that's on you. That's your business. That's no one's business. But for me, I think I've definitely grown a reputation of being objective. I've not grown a reputation of being anti this or pro this. I think if that does come, then it's through misinformation, which I am now learning has come from other platforms, which I'm taking the hit for, but it is what it is. I just keep it pushing and just keep focusing on my content. But back to the topic, Leon Bailey. Kimo is probably going to come back on later on in the show. But focusing again on Leon Bailey, now that we're spoken about his charity, what's your thoughts on Leon Bailey's contribution to Jamaica? How would you summarize it all? It's probably a tough question, both for yourself and CC. CC's touched on, like, things that he does on the field of play for Jamaica, that is, and also the what he's doing off the field of play. Like, how do you summarize Leon Bailey for people who don't know him?
CC, you want to go first? CC?
Yes, yes. Repeat the question, Crystal.
As I was saying, in relation to Leon Bailey, how do you summarize him for people who are new to Jamaican football and they don't know Leon Bailey? Obviously, we don't know him on a personal level, but for what we know, especially with his philanthropic work and what he does on the field of play for Jamaica, how do you summarize his contribution to his country, both as a philanthropist and also as a player that plays for the national side?
I would say, all right. In terms of summarization, I would say, just like a lot of team, he is one of those guys who tends to give back, but he's not loud about it. So I think because he's not really loud
I think, yeah, he's driving.
about
I think we're
a
losing you
generous
there,
kind
Steve. I think you're cutting out a bit.
Jamaican
We're losing.
who would have been successful at his craft in terms of generating millions and generating wealth for his family, and seems to be the type of person who likes giving back to his country and to his community. So that's how I would summarize.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I kind
Mr.
of
Lee,
piggyback off of that a bit. Like when I met Leon Bailey the first time I met him, I have a photo with him 2019 when he played USA at RFK Stadium. He didn't play, but he came, it was his first time being on the national team after all the
I'm
training.
breaking up, so I'm gonna come out and come back.
okay.
I, I think it's your signal, yeah. And after seeing him go to struggles, with the national team, take a break and everything, I just want him to do more for the country. I just want him to do more. But I respect him as a player. I respect him as a person, as a father. I respect him as a Jamaican, right? I love what he's doing. But for me personally, I don't hate the player. I don't dislike him. Um, I just want to see him. He done the national colors. I want to see him fight for the national colors. And I just leave it as that. I hope after his playing career is done, that he has a successful life with it. His family in whatever he chooses to do. But I just I think that was the time that him and everybody is gonna grasp. I know he wants to go to a World Cup, so I'm actually rooting for him. I'm rooting for him. He scored the first Champions League goal as a Jamaican. We are proud of that. We are proud of that. Anytime that Leon Bailey does good, we are proud. No matter who hates it, we are all proud. So right now, what we all have to do is just root for Leon Bailey. It's just root for him. All we do is just root for him. Back to you, Christian.
Yeah, I think, for me, I definitely appreciate what he's doing in terms of trying to helping to change the narrative around mental wellness, the importance of taking care of your mental well-being. I think what he's doing is vital in helping us to eliminate what was once a taboo conversation. Like I said, I think my generation have become more open, and perhaps we're not at the point where we're totally comfortable, but we're definitely more open to talk about our mental well-being and how we're feeling and how it affects our day-to-day lives. Like, it's something I talk about in my personal lives with my loved ones, and even with you guys in the comment section. Talking about mental well-being isn't something that's new. We are getting comfortable with talking about that. And I think what Leon is doing with the Bellevue Hospital in Jamaica, again, in case you're just tuning in, Bellevue, that is French for beautiful view. What he's doing with the Bellevue Hospital, I think in years to come, we're going to look back in hindsight and say moments like those, it's not going to be the overarching moment, but moments like those, it would have helped to serve as a catalyst for others to
Yeah,
seek help, to share their stories, because he's one of our most recognizable athlete, not just as a footballer, as an athlete. And what
yeah,
Mr. Lee said, he's here playing Champions League football for one of the most successful teams in England, a Champions League winning club. And CC is right. He's not a boastful guy, which is so funny because people would
yeah,
have you believing that he's such a nasty human being, but he's not boastful at all. When I went onto Leon Bailey's Instagram and I'm trying to find out about the fact that he's a philanthropist, it's not even on his Instagram, which is funny because most people would put that on their Instagram to tidy up their image to make themselves look good, but it's not on his
yeah,
Instagram. You have to go over to the Leon Bailey Foundation to find out about his charitable work that he's doing. So clearly, he's not doing it for attention. He's not doing it because he wants to seem like Mr. Good Guy. I believe it does come from a place of good from Leon Bailey. So long may it continue. You want to say something, Mr. Lee?
yeah. I gotta big up some people. I gotta big up DC. Keep on coming back to the show. Big up yourself, sir. Big up Hot Chili. Nice to see you
Oh,
here.
DC is a woman.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is a woman. I'm so sorry. Big up yourself, DC. Thank
Look,
you for
I made
coming
the
back.
mistake, so it's
Big
okay.
up Hot Chili. And Mr. Knight Rider said something. Can you put up our
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Knight Rider thing in the screen? You know,
Yeah, he said
he
some
said,
things are bigger than the game of football. Whether you like him or not as a player, it must be lauded for he must be lauded for his philanthropist. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Whether you like him or not, whether he's Marmite to you, whether he's a gripe, it really is irrelevant because he's doing something that he doesn't have to do. Leon Bailey is a family man. I think his main responsibility is taking care of his child and his missus and extended family members. He doesn't need to do what he's doing. So let's show him some appreciation for what he is doing, because many are in Leon Bailey's position and they're not doing half of what Leon Bailey is doing. And again, nobody is supposed to do what he is doing, but the fact that he is doing it, let's give him some
yeah,
flowers. Again, echoing what Mr. Lee said, big up DC, big up Hot Chili as well. So let's talk about Leon Bailey before we move on to the Reggae Girl stuff. What do you think's going on with Leon Bailey and the national team? Why is it we've yet to see a glimpse of Leon Bailey at club level within the national colours?
I'm gonna ask that question to DC and Hot Chili. Can you type in the comments on what you think about Leon Bailey's performance? Just want to read it. But Crystal, yeah, for me though, I just think that starting on today, I'm putting that behind. Starting this campaign, I'm putting that behind. What
No,
DC
no, I
said,
think you probably misinterpret what I'm trying to say. It's not about being negative. It's about trying to understand the obvious difference in comparison when he plays for his club, so Aston Villa, compared to when he plays for Jamaica. It's just, again, a question is just, why do you think there's a clear difference there?
so this is what I'm saying to you now. I can go on and give it, but it's gonna take us back to negativity world. And
No,
so
you don't. I mean, there's different ways to spin this. You don't.
yeah,
You
but
can
okay, so
do it like
here's what I
a
think.
summary,
Here's what I
like.
think. Um, I just think that um everybody gonna have a different say so, and my take of it after watching it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so many times, so many years under different coaches, I just never see the best of him, the same that he gives for country and for club. And he's a wonderful player. You know how I know? His coach love him. His coach Ibrahim will love him. No matter what people say, he's always there. So I just think that it's play for club and country. It could be that he has better players around him. The Steelers in the Caribbean is bad.
And that's
But
what
when
I'm
you put
talking about. And that's literally what I was thinking, because I was paying attention to what he's doing at the moment, because I think there's a lot of players, there's a lot of people, Mr. Lee, when Aston Villa closed off on the winter transfer window, or even when Diaby from Leverkusen went to Aston Villa, a lot of people thought that is it. Leon Bailey's done, that's his spot taken. And even more so when Aston Villa closed off on their recent winter transfer window, with Marco coming in and also Marcus Rashford as well. People just assume that will be it, but he's showing up even in the Champions League that you touched on. So do you think, obviously it's not the overarching reason, but do you think one of the reasons why we're not seeing the best of Leon Bailey's is one of the reasons could be down to the players around him? Obviously, like I said, that's not the overarching reason, but is that a factor?
I don't think that, because we can't use that. We can never use that. Here's why. We've seen other players left the national team, they don't have a good and they perform much better, right? So that's why I really do not want to get into that aspect. But I think that though, yes,
Leon
he has better
Bailey,
players.
but what I'm saying is we have to look at Leon Bailey. Like, other players is pretty much, yeah, you can compare other players, but to an extent. I'm looking at Leon Bailey as a lone individual. I'm not comparing him with what other players have around them and the fact that other players step up, because
But what
if
I'm
that's the
saying though, we can't use because other teams have better players around them when they go to the national team. What I'm saying is this, right? We use the field, we use the better players, we use the this, we use the that. That's what I'm saying. For me right now,
No, I don't
um,
think you understand what I'm saying. I am not saying it's an overarching reason. What I'm saying is that a factor? Is the quality of players around him, is that a factor? Is that one of the reasons why we're not seeing the same Leon Bailey that we see with an Aston Villa? Not saying it is an excuse or the number one reason, but could it be a consideration?
in my opinion, no. And that's why I said I want to leave that topic alone, because then I'm going to go down a road, right? But I'm just going to leave. I'm going to skip that topic. I'm
Why
gonna turn it
though?
back
What,
to you.
what's about the topic that upsets you so much? Because I think it's a
No,
very
it
fair,
doesn't upset me.
honest
What I'm
question.
saying is that I would never say it's the players that's around him that's not good, right? Because I've seen
Hmm.
teams that the players around him is not as good, but that player try to make them better, try to involve them in. I don't see the killer, the fight when he
Hmm.
plays for us. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to go down that road. You know what I'm saying? But yes, if we're gonna say the players around him, no, the field can be a factor. I would say the field. But if we're gonna say the field, a lot of people say, look, if Demarai Gray is not from here, he's not born and bred here, and he's doing good on the field here. So that's what I'm saying. I'm ready to put all that behind and move forward. But I think he realizes now that he has to. Let me put it this way: I think he realized and he knows, he even say he's not been performing well for us. I think he realizes that he has to pull up his big boy boots. Even the coach said in his conference conference, I have a conversation with Leon Daly. And I'm like, I said, you know what? I right now I wanna I'm giving Bailey a fresh start. I'm on his train right now. I'm on his bandwagon. I'm on everything. Bailey's gonna come good for us. Starting the game tomorrow. Bailey is gonna. I think he knows the players that do want to go to a World Cup. They all want to do. And so I'm just saying to you right now. I think we're gonna see the real Leon Bailey going forward. That's my prediction.
Right. So I think with sorry, I just had a message from Chemo that I'm looking at. Hold on, let me just respond to him quickly.
Big up Frankie. Up Frankie. We just on the
Um,
show a while ago. Big up, big up.
yeah, I've kind of lost train of thought. I think there's multiple factors there. I know you don't want to dive into much with Leon, because it does seem a little bit touchy if I'm being honest, but I think there's many different factors there. I know, but like I said, you can talk about something that is uncomfortable without making it negative. Do you see what I'm saying? Like we can have uncomfortable conversations about making it negative. I don't think you're quite there yet with Leon, which I can respect, and we can just like move on from that conversation, you know, because I don't want to like tread on your toes or anything. But DC saying in his I don't want you not to come back on the channel. DC says, in his body language, Bailey seems more self-assured, even relaxed when playing for Aston Villa. It could be his surroundings. Owen, big up yourself. He said he is playing with other players in the English Premier. He's playing with other English Premier League players, not all scrubs. That's an excuse. Also adds Leah, Owen, big up yourself. One. Good to see you in the comment section, sir. It's been a while since I've seen you. Happy to see you in the comment section. One says big up DC, Owen, and Hot Chili. Owen also says other players come and produce in CONCACAF. Can't argue with that. Damari Gray is one of them. What are they saying about Bailey? Well, we were actually giving Bailey some credit about what he has been doing. Headline does read for itself. Bailey supports mental wellness in Jamaica. And there's some conversations going on with the lads in the comment section. Big up yourself, Cranky. I hope you are well. And I think I will leave it there for the time being. I see the guys are in the comment section having some conversation. I might have opened up a can of worms. That was not my intention. That was not my intention. It was to try and make sense out of what's going on with Leon Bailey. Like I said, I think there's multiple reasons why. Let me just message Chemo. One moment, guys. So I am going to be shifting the comments, the conversation a little bit, and we're gonna go and talk about some reggae girls, but I do have to message my brother quickly. So bear with me, guys, bear with me. Let me just make sure that the message has gone through. I think it's gone through. All right, so let's continue. Sorry about that. There's a lot going on in the comment section right there. But guys, we're going to stick a pin in it. It is time to talk about the reggae girls. We are going to be talking about the reggae girls. And I'm going to get some information out the way before we close off on an emotional one. I'm going to end on an emotional note, but I think it's a very important one, right? So I'm going to just wait on my brother to just read his message, and in the meantime I'm going to talk about the reggae girls. I know that we have a lot of Manchester City, well, I have Manchester City fans following the platform, so it's not what they want to read on the screen in front of you, is it? Big question to the Manchester City fans and also the Reggae Girls fans. Here's one for you. Bunny to miss the next international break. We know we have an international break coming up in April, and that is where the Reggae Girls will be playing against Mexico. I think I have a couple people who are going to that game, funny enough, and do hope that they enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
But we also know that Bunny missed the last window um against Paraguay for some reason. Was it who was it? Was it Peru, guys? Who did we play the last window? I can't even remember who we played. I think I need you guys to jog my memory. Peru, my apologies. I don't know where I keep getting Paraguay from. So we know she missed the last window in February against Peru. That was due to a personal reason. She needed to miss that one, citing the fact that she just returned from injury, and also in relation to the abuse that she received, the racist and misogynistic abuse, right, whilst playing for Manchester City. So it made perfect sense. Now another spanner is in the work because it looks as if we're going to be without our captain, and I'm saying so. I'm pretty sure some of you kept your eyes on the Champions League encounter their big clash with Manchester City. That's as Bunny Shaw's Manchester City taking on Rebecca Spencer's Chelsea. Yes, you heard correctly. Rebecca Spencer's Chelsea. She is on loan. She's on an emergency loan from Tottenham Hotspurs to Chelsea, the Blues in West London. So she's temporarily moved from North London to West London. And here's where we're at. So Bunny Shaw missed the first leg of the Champions League showdown between Chelsea, and I think it's definitely one that they needed to win because Chelsea actually beat them some days ago in the League Cup final, so they needed to get one over on them. The second leg coming up in some days' time, and they managed to get off to a positive start. Nick Cushion, in case you guys are wondering who's Nick Cushion, well, he is currently managing Manchester City as the interim head coach. So Garth Taylor, he received his marching orders some days ago. He was showing the exit door and upstep Nick Cushion, and he's probably not a happy bunny with the fact that he has one of his main shooters on the sideline at present. And here's where we're at with Bunny. He said in the run up to the Champions League first leg against Chelsea. So this information here was during the game previous before the Champions League showdown. He said Bunny came out and she will be unavailable, and so will Ioba. I hope I pronounced her name correctly. I think I might have butchered that one. He went on by saying there are two significant players that are missing, but these moments give opportunities for other players too. Both of them are muscle injuries. It's going to take a few days to diagnose how long. I think they're significant, but we will leave it with the medical team. When you have muscle injuries, it's ultimately not one you will turn around quickly. So it's not music to your ears. I mean, no one's going to be sat here celebrating any player's injury, especially one of our own, especially when we were talking about our captain, the Reggae Girls captain, arguably the greatest forward on the planet. For context, backtracking with what I was saying pertaining to the League Cup final against Chelsea, Shaw was substituted late on in Saturday's League Cup finals defeat to Chelsea, with the boss later revealing that she had experienced a hamstring issue. So it's not looking good for us, guys. It's looking like we're going to be without Bunny Shaw, right? It's not looking good. And I'm saying that, I mean, big up to Manchester City. Big up to you, Manchester City. As long as you keep on treating Bunny right, then we'll treat you right and we'll continue to back you. But let's also remind ourselves those two international games coming up there in April, one on
Yo,
5th and also the other on the 8th of April. And we're going to be taking on Mexico. If I look at my calendar, taking into consideration what Bunny's head coach said, interim head coach, we'll call it about 2 weeks away from the international break. So she might not turn this one around. I don't think Man City are going to want her to travel across the pond. Hamstring injury, muscle injury, that sounds like a bit of a lengthy layoff. So we might be without our captain Khadija Bunny Shaw, right? Mr. Chemo and Bam Sports. How are you, gents? How you guys doing?
I'm not so bad. Good night, everyone, to all the viewers.
I
Yeah,
can see you there in the
good
comments
night,
section.
everyone. I'm here. I was actually
No, sir.
listening to,
Sports as
well,
well.
sorry, I actually just started listening. I'm actually at
Yeah,
work.
I mean,
I didn't
yeah.
know the show was going on. Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are here because I'm going to need you guys' help in a matter of minutes. I'm going to be needing you guys' help to talk about one particular reggae girl because she does deserve her flowers, and I'm hoping you guys can help me to do that. Night Rider said, I'm concerned about Bonnie since her injury last year. Her body has gone downhill. You hit the nail on the head. This is exactly what I thought earlier on. I was just like, damn, since that injury last year towards the latter stages of the season where Man City fell at the final hurdle. Subsequently, Chelsea went on to win in the league. It's not looked good for Bunny, and I mean, my heart weeps for her. Really, I'm hoping she can get over these injuries because we're going to need her. But more importantly, football to the side. I just want her to recover and go back to her best, full fit best, or even better than that. But moving on. As it relates to some WSL, as I said to you guys, I'm going to echo it again. Big up those girls who show up to represent their national team, especially those girls who are facing some difficulties with their clubs. You should be able to see this one on your screen in front of you. Let me just gloss over this one. As I said some weeks ago, we're looking at relegation battle here between the Swaby sisters. Crystal Palace still sit at the bottom of the table. They sandwich Aston Villa. Crystal Palace is the club belonging to Alison Swaby. Some good news here for you guys with Alison Swaby. Their club sits at the bottom of the table. They sacked their gaffer. They brought in a new gaffer, and the gaffer has gone ahead and made Alison Swaby the captain. So it's now Captain Swaby. She's the captain for Crystal Palace and also the vice captain for the Reggae Girls. And her sister, Lukla Swaby, Chantal Swaby with the Foxes, Leicester City, is looking damn tight at the bottom of the WSL team. If big news here, I am so happy for Crystal Palace because they did what was absolutely necessary some days ago. They did what was probably unthinkable. They went and beat Aston Villa 3-0. And had they lost this match, guys, it probably would have been over and out in terms of them being confirmed as the team to be relegated from the top tier of women's football in England. But thank God that the Eagles are flying somewhat high. Hopefully they can get higher and pull Aston Villa down to the bottom. I'm hoping that Leicester City and Crystal Palace survives the drop for obvious reason. So that is where we're at with the Reggae Girls. We also have some football there in Liga F, if I can go ahead and look at Liga F. And it's looking quite tricky for Liga F. If it's Liga F, you're talking about Real Betis. Let's look at Real Betis, and that is a club belonging to Tiffany Cameron. I do feel for Tiffany Cameron and Real Betis because once again, second season on the trot, they're looking at relegation in the face. And I looked at these fixtures. Two teams will be relegated from the top tier of women's football in Spain. Real Betis are really up against it, guys. I look at Levante and I looked at Real Betis' schedule, and Real Betis has the toughest fixtures, in my opinion. They have some big games coming up. A couple of the big names there. They have Madrid CFF, but even bigger than that, they have the big heavyweights, the big dogs, Real Madrid. They also have a date in the diary with Barcelona as well. Every point matters, and it really is a difficult moment for them in their league. So best of luck to those players. Before I continue, I do want to take a little sidestep and go and look at Hearts FC. We spoke about some of their results there, and we know that Shade Adamolakun, she plays for Hearts FC, and we could go ahead and look at some of their results while we are at it. I still need to give you guys a full show on the Reggae Girls, but let's just gloss over some of the things that's happened. I'm sure you guys can see this one. It's not the news that we wanted to read in terms of the the quarterfinals there with Glasgow City securing a narrow 2-1 victory over Hearts. In recent days, we also, I should say, maybe over a week ago now, we saw the Babyface Assassin lift a trophy with Benfica. We know that Benfica is the club belonging to Jodie Brown. Good to see her lifting her trophy there with Benfica. She also have more important games to come up. I'll bring that one up on screen for you guys. Sorry if it seems like I'm rushing through this one. I just don't want the guys on screen to leave me because they have given me their precious time, hence trying to speed through with this one. So you can see a couple of the results there on the screen in front of you where they defeated Sporting CP some weeks ago now. This was on the 9th of March. And that was a cup final. It does say on my screen here tomorrow. So this should mean, what day am I in? I'm in my Friday. So Saturday, they have another quarterfinal coming up, coincidentally, against Sporting once more. So hopefully they can go ahead and secure a bit of deja vu scoreline with that one. And I am going to shake the roof a bit. I do have more Reggae Girls information to share with you guys. But I'm gonna share that with another. I'm gonna do that on another show. So it's time to dim the lights, and it is time to get a little bit emotional. So if you've got your tissues ready, it is going to be a little bit emotional, and I had to kind of like calm myself down a little bit because, as they always say, all good things comes to an end. Whether good or bad, all good things does come to an end, and unfortunately, that is the case for one of our renowned reggae
Individuals.
loyal servants. And it feels so emotional saying this. It's somewhat an outdated news because I did see glimpses of it a couple months back, but I think today is the perfect time to speak about one of our most loved reggae girl, and that is Miss Marla Sweatman's emotional retirement. And Marla is one of those players that, alongside, and I'll allow the lads on the screen to share their opinion and you guys in the comments section.
Mhm.
I think for me, Marla Sweatman, like I said, alongside her teammates from the diaspora, they have played a pivotal role in reshaping the narrative surrounding non-Jamaican born players representing the national team. And for me, her professionalism, unwavering commitments, and her resilience in the face of adversity solidify her status as a true legend. We can look at the Reggae Boys and some of the things that we have seen, and for some reason, there's a grudge there towards players from the born in the diaspora representing our national team, and that probably stems back from the 98 World Cup, where a particular non-Jamaican born player showed up for the World Cup, and then after that he didn't show up at all. And I think that helped to create this grudge, this hatred towards non-Jamaican born players representing the national team. But up steps someone as wonderful as Marlo Sweatman, and as a player who is born in the diaspora, she has waved that flag high and proud. And like I said, it is very emotional being sat here and now officially talking about her retirement. How do you guys feel about hearing that, officially the curtain, I should say, has been pulled on what I think is an applaudable career from Marla Sweatman?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's really, I guess it's good when a person would have fulfilled their career ambitions and their dreams and get to move on to other things. Actually, Marlo is in Jamaica now.
Yeah, she is.
He's at Mount Pleasant. They have I think they have something called Global Soccer Institute where persons who are pursuing careers in other aspects of football, I think from a scientific perspective, data analysis, and stuff like that. So she's a part of that. They are actually here at Mount Pleasant. Hopefully I'll get to see a Mount Pleasant game over the weekend and get to see her. That would be really good. I'll try to see how I can make that happen. But I think of the players that have come to play for Jamaica, I think Marlo is a really good one, real person that really can tell really loves Jamaica and loves to represent. I mean, even the last time when we had that whole issue with some of the girls from the World Cup, and she came in and did her best and tried her best to help the team to qualify for the Women's Gold Cup. I think she's been an excellent servant to the sport. I think it's a little unfortunate, from a Jamaican perspective, where we don't take the time out to recognize our players whenever they decide to hang up their cleats, or for whatever reason. I don't think we have done a very good job at that as a federation and as a nation. I don't know if it will change, because we've had many players who have come and represent us really well, and after they are finished, we don't look back at them, except if maybe we need them to do some coaching or probably scout some players or stuff like that. So I think maybe that's something that as a federation that they really need to look at. But I think I've been watching her social media. It seems as if she's embracing this new chapter in football. Yeah, it's good. I'm happy that she's moved on to something still involved in the sport. And who knows, with the way the sport is going, may one day turn out to be of great benefit to Jamaica. And it's good that she got to came back here and participate in her studies and maybe see her family and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really good. I would have loved to see her play some more, to be honest. But I guess she knows best, and yeah, all the best to her in her future endeavors. And I really hope the federation finds a way to honor players like Marlo, and for the future players to come as well. I mean, it's always good, whenever they come to play for the team. Sometimes we're a little bit annoyed at them and their performances, but I think a lot of persons could admit that a lot of these players that come to play for Jamaica sacrifice a lot. And after in times, I don't think we do a pretty good job at letting them know how really appreciative we are of them and their sacrifices and stuff. So yeah, I hope something happens from that regard. But yeah, it was I enjoyed watching her play, and yeah, all the best to her in her future endeavors.
Definitely. Thank you for that, BAM Sports. And if you guys aren't familiar with his platform, do look out for him on Instagram as well as across all other social media and get following. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I wish it's very selfish of me to say that, but I do wish that she didn't hang up her boots. But as I said, all good things has to come to an end. She must know why she decided to hang up her boots. And I think what she did in terms of the Gold Cup competitions there that Bam was referring to, I think that is so admirable. It is so applaudable because I don't know Marlo on a personal level, but surely that would have been a difficult decision to make, or maybe an uncomfortable one to make, considering that the senior girls who she would have rubbed shoulders with were doing the complete opposite. Maybe she might have rubbed a couple players up the wrong way, but at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. I think what the senior girls were doing, it made perfect sense. Similarly, what Marla chose to do, I think that also makes perfect sense. And it now as I said, it is sad to see that she's hung up her boots. Wish she just continued to play her football, and wish we had the opportunity to say farewell in a right and proper manner. But it is what it is. I definitely want to wish her all the best with her future, and I hope that it does continue to flourish for her, because she does seem like she's onto some wonderful things. So thank you for that, Bam. Lads, Mr. Lee and also Chemo, what's your
Hmm.
thoughts on Marlo's retirement?
Okay, for me, I got the chance to meet Marlo at those Gold Cup games. I mean, I think that was last year before last. I got the opportunity to meet her, and she was very approachable. I had a chance to spoke to her. She was She was cool. It would be the first time I was being around a few of the reggae girls, and to be honest, I admire how she acts and the type of person that she is. I was really looking forward to seeing her playing a bit more, but I have been monitoring some of the reggae girls' progress, and she seems as if she knows the right timing for her career, and she want to venture off into something else. And I hope she continue. I know she would continue to have a lot of passion for the game. I just want to wish her all the best. And I admire the passion that she put out and she exerts whenever she plays for the reggae girls, and she will always be remembered for that first World Cup that we qualified for back in 2019. That's
Mm,
correct, right? So yeah,
yeah,
man, she will always be remembered, just like any
100%.
other player who plans on retiring anytime soon.
Yeah, 100%. It just feels like such a weird conversation to have, but
Yeah, yeah, it is, it is.
she knows when it's time to hang up her boots. She's a bright lady. I'm sure she has a wonderful future ahead of her. So she knows
Mhm.
what's best for her. She must have had this conversation with her loved ones and made what she
Yeah,
believes is a
family. Yeah.
yeah, all the best to her. And Mr. Lee, what's your thoughts on Marla's retirement?
So I gotta give her kudos, and I hope we just achieve something for the girls that make it to first World Cup. Yeah, I hope they make it to. Sorry about that, folks. So
That's
for her, I have to give it to her. She did a World Cup, and there's a lot going on. With the national team right now, and I gotta give her respect. She decided to roll up her boots and be done. But I want those folks to take note. She's doing something at Mount Pleasant. She's giving back, right? So this is the overseas player come back to give back, right, Kima? This is what we talk
Right.
about. People that just don't play and gone. I love her for that. I respect her for that. She come back and
Mhm.
she's giving back. And I can tell you she's not done with us as yet. I know she's gonna give back more to us. Big up to you, Marlo. And I hope you keep on doing well. Whatever you choose to do, you make me proud as a Jamaican. I can't forget, man, when you're on the field, and you were doing your thing. Yeah, I was raving as a Jamaican, and I'm proud for you. After your retirement, only you know what's right for you. Only you know what's right for you. All we have to do is support you. Is support you and keep on cheering for you. All right? Back to your question.
100%. And, I felt like tonight was the appropriate time to speak about Marla. But I think you guys are right. It would be wonderful if the Federation did something, because if I'm being honest with you, the way that past players have been treated, especially those legends, those girls that were down in the trenches and helping us to qualify for that first ever FIFA Women's World Cup that Chemo alluded to, it's very safe to say that some of those girls, even the ones who dragged us to the World Cup and subsequently weren't able to secure a ticket, I know no one has got a God-given right to be handed or rewarded with a ticket to the World Cup. I think it's probably safe to say that they weren't treated in the way that they deserve to be treated. And it's not just the reggae girls; it's happened with reggae boys as well, legends, where the federation have not done a good job in highlighting them. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not about being negative. It's not about throwing people under the bus, but the federation needs to do better. And anyone connected with the team, you need to do better as well. This is a collective effort. People could
Yeah.
look to you and say, we need to do better. Well, we're here in new media and we're doing our job. All we can do is give her the love and the flowers that she needs. But you guys, that she deserves, you guys can do a whole lot more than us. And you need to. She might not be a big name in your eyes, but we've seen of the biggest of names. And I don't want to touch on certain topics because it will get emotional, where the reggae boys are concerned, biggest of names wasn't treated with the respect that he deserved, even in those unfortunate moments. So names to me has nothing to do with it. We need to pull our socks up, Federation, pull your socks up. Marla is on home soil. She's in Jamaica, connected
Mhm.
to Mount Pleasant. she's not hard to find. She's not hard
Yeah.
to find. Give her flowers. She deserves her
Mm.
flowers. Please.
Yeah, man.
I
Big up
mean,
DC, big up one, big up everybody in the chat.
I mean,
You guys are doing your
once
thing, and it's very emotional for all of us. Big up to yourself.
once we're done, once they're whether it's a local or persons with the Jamaican heritage coming here to play for the national team, and they're donning the colors, we should show them the same amount of respect. You understand? But
Yes,
we as a supporters club, we can play a part in showing them appreciation by, maybe doing something, giving them a token or maybe a plaque. We talk about this from time to time, but we want to actually do it in the future. It is something that we're considering. It doesn't have to be anything over the moon, but it's something that someone can look at the end of the day and say, it's a appreciation from the Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club. And you never know how that could make that person, he or she,
yeah,
feel.
That's a wonderful idea. Sir W1, I think you're trying to come into the studio, but I think there's an issue with your device because I'm not able to bring you on screen. Not sure, not sure if you can still hear me, but we're gonna hold on a little while longer to see if you can come on screen. Because I know you're a massive Marlon Sweatman fan, so it'd be great to hear from you before we close off on the show. I think you're right, Kimo. I think as a supporters group, pending that we have the finances to flex our muscle, it would be nice for us to do something of our own, since others are dragging their heels and are not able to do what's required
tell
of
you
them.
what though, Christel, I don't. I think we should probably get some sponsors or somebody on, right? Because I don't think these girls are looking for much. But you're right. If we can find someone to just to record, I don't care about the politics behind, who like, just everybody, that's not where we
Yeah.
at, and it's a wonderful idea, wonderful idea.
Before Bam goes, thank you for stopping by. Do you want to plug your platform? Thank you for so much for blessing us in a moment of your time. I know you're a little bit snowed under, but thank you for giving us your time.
Yeah, no problem. People follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube channel, latest sporting updates. And while you're at it, hit the like button. Bless up to everyone. Kimo, Crystal, Jeremy.
Big up, bro.
We'll
Yeah, man.
connect.
Thank you, Bam. All right, guys. So you have BAM Sports on the screen in front of you. So BAM Sports TV. I'll leave that on there for a little while that you can go ahead and find him across social media. Okay. And
Oh,
I
he
think
gives very good Premier League stories, man. Let me tell you, on Sundays, man, this guy go out hard. He goes hard and come back with some. I don't know how he does it though, man. He does like every game. I don't know how you do it, Bob, but I gotta give you a lot of respect, Bob. You do a good job on Sundays, man. And Wednesdays too. Kudos to you, brother.
I think you're right. I don't think people understand how difficult it is. I mean, Chemo can echo this. Working at games, that's your whole day done. If you have a game on a Saturday or a Wednesday, that's your whole. 1 second, guys. I got a call from my brother. I got to take it. Bear with me
Mhm.
1 moment.
Yeah,
No
man.
problem.
Kima, go ahead, Kima.
Yeah, I mean, the players need to be treated with more appreciation and respect. I'm not saying this is being done on purpose, but no matter what you're doing in the world, whether it's your job in your daily life, there's always room for improvement. So maybe they have to find persons who deals with this. Whenever we have a person maybe making their debut or a person retiring or leaving, we should do something for them to show them their appreciation once they
Yes,
reach a certain amount of games or milestone. I mean, to play even 25 games for your national team, don't you think that it's a good amount of games? Or, I
that's a
mean,
lot, man.
25, 50,
Yeah, but Kima just
75,
going to a
100,
World Cup,
those are
man.
a
It's
lot of
hard
games.
work, It's going to a World Cup.
Yeah,
Qualifying
yeah,
for it is hard. It's
you
hard.
might not have to, you might never play 25, but you've been to a World Cup. What if you come in the
Yeah,
last week and play an important role? You
yeah,
understand?
man.
So it all depends. Situation dictates. But we should show the players more appreciation.
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm sure they don't want money. It's just something that they can look on at the end of their career and say, I was given this by the federation, or because sooner or later when our platform grows, we also have a part to play with players and the football in Jamaica, and that for both players locally and of Jamaican heritage. You understand? We want to do more. I know we want to do more. Some of the pressure, we won't even worry about what the JFF is doing because we can do it
Yeah,
also
but
because
you
we
find
and
something,
them are like
you
partner.
know, you come up with something really right professional. Shanae Matthews, right? She retired. And I don't, there was a lot going on with the Federation and players, right? What if one of her children, right, was supposed to come up and be a world class footballer, and the JFF go after her and she said, "No, I'm not going to come because of the way you treat my mom," right? This is
Hmm.
why we need to treat the players well, especially when they retire. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Uh,
Treat them
And we
well.
can't look past those small things. We
Yeah,
might, because it's not something small, but people might underestimate those things, which can turn out to be something that actually scarred people. So it's something that,
yeah,
always be a part of their life and the way you look. And some of the times, other people are looking on and seeing how other people are being treated.
yeah,
You
yeah,
understand? Because when we're trying to maybe reach out to players and to get players, we have persons like Adrian Mariappa and Wes Harding, and there's not anything in the country or we know that the Reggae Boys don't have a national stadium, but we can't go anywhere in Jamaica and look somewhere and see a picture of Wes Harding, you know, to say that only player to win the Premier League and score in a Champions, one of the players to score in Champions League. I'm sure if he sees something like that, so with a picture of him in the stadium, say the stadium is renovated, whenever it's finished, there's a big picture of him holding up the trophy of Leicester winning the 2025 to 2026 season of the Premier League. Also, pictures of him when he scored that Champions League goal. It's something that will actually galvanize him and his family to the stadium, want to come back, and him and his family can maybe go and take a picture next to it. It might just be a picture, but it can tell a big story because picture do tell stories. You understand? And a lot of people would be looking on like, whoa, we have someone that actually won the Premier League. Because I stopped
Massive.
using this. I stopped using this thing since lately about overseas player. I mean, and Jamaican heritage. Yes, Jamaican heritage. But listen, our mother can't say out of many one people, and we want to be specific when we are talking about persons playing for the country. We should be saying he's a Jamaican. You have a Jamaican passport. You understand me? Your mom is Jamaican, your dad is Jamaican, or your grandmother is Jamaican. We shouldn't even go into specifics. You're Jamaican.
yeah,
100%.
You understand?
100%.
yeah,
100%. And I
We
think that
want
is
to move away from this one.
no,
yeah,
you're right. I think when you're talking about the renovation of the national stadium, they need to be connected with sports people, people with a
yeah,
sporting mind, not just business minded, but sports in general, where they can connect to different groups and say, okay, what's your ideas? Because I think that's a wonderful idea. It's a
Yeah.
way of keeping him and his family connected to Jamaica, showing a show of appreciation. Because like DC said, it's never too late to show your appreciation to someone, even if you messed up before.
Mhm.
You can
yeah,
Yeah.
still show your appreciation.
Yes. So,
yeah,
so, so, I know brand Jamaica is big across the world, right around the world. But if the sports minister, the Minister of Sports and Culture and Gender, Minister Grange, I would if I got a one-on-one chance to speak with her, I would share some of these ideas with her, and I'm sure that she would accept them because
Yeah.
you know
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Where did you get this that she was retiring? What platform did you get this from?
Sorry?
Where did you get this from that she was retiring? Where did she post it?
She's been talking about that for a while now. She even spoke about it today.
Okay. So
That's directly
is it
from the horse's
official? Is
mouth.
it official? Because I'm getting on
Well, if
something.
she's saying it, then it must be official. It's literally from her platform.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So this is what I'm saying to you, right? The federation must heard about it some way somehow, and should at least highlight it. Congratulations, but you don't do I just
I
let me
think,
just
Mr. Lee, I think it's as official as it could come because it's literally from her platform.
yeah.
Whether they can see or not, that's down to them.
I'm
I'm
gonna hold
assuming.
the thought I was gonna say. I'm not gonna bother say anything. I'm gonna hold it. I want to keep the show clean.
hmm, yeah, keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
No, Sir
We need to
W1. I
respect
know.
our heroes, man. These girls are heroes. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Anybody, these are ambassadors for us, right? These
Yeah.
are ambassadors. And when these people retire, just like a soldier retire, a soldier, man, just so much. It's let's move on. 'Cause I'm going to all of it right now.
You
Whew.
remind me of
And
myself sometimes.
it should be more than just some. You can there can be it can be a post, but it should be more than just that.
Smarter deserves more than a post, but you're right. The minimal a post, and we know they listen to the show. We know they watch the program, so maybe
Oh,
later on they might put something
oh,
out.
yes,
Because
they do.
don't
Trust
act
me,
like
they
you
do.
haven't
I
seen.
know they do. I know they do.
Don't act like you didn't see her post. Like she put a post out hours ago, probably midday my time or a little after midday my. They've seen it. Don't act like you haven't seen the post. Don't be so disrespectful. Not even after when the girls senior girls chose the girls that went to the World Cup chose to do what they did in terms of trying to get in their eyes equality and many different things from the federation, get paid, treated the way
Mhm,
that they deserve to be treated, upstep the likes of Marla Sweatman. Like I said, that
mhm.
probably rubbed a lot of her teammates up the wrong way. I don't know, but it probably did because people are human beings at the end of the day. But I'm gonna stick a pin in it and say hello to Sir W1. How are you, sir? I know that you're one of Marla Sweatman's biggest fan. How do you feel about her emotional retirement?
Good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can
Yeah,
hear
man.
you.
Big up yourself.
All right. Let me tell you something. I am possibly the most relieved man in the world right now because I've tried several attempts to get through. I'm actually parked on the side of the road in St. Anne, the Garden Parish of Jamaica, where Bob Marley and His Excellency the Most Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey comes from. And I'm heading to the westmost land that if you jump off the cliff at Rick's Cafe, you may need a visa to get back, and I'm not so sure if the ICE people will allow it. But
Don't start the
saying
forest
all
fire,
that,
no.
I am giving thanks. Thank you, Lee, for the shout out earlier. I
Yeah,
was
man.
driving, so I couldn't respond. And I want to say good night and thank you to all your panelists and to the many fans in the comments section. Now, I don't have much time here. So I'm going to just lay it on the table as is. Crystal, I don't know what inspires you to talk about my favorite footballer when it comes to the female. Yes? Now, I didn't go to the stadium when Messi came by, and it's not because I didn't want to go, it's just because the job didn't allow me to go. But if Marlo Sweatman was playing, I would be an unemployed the following day because nothing could stop me from going in that stadium. I wonder if you understand what I'm saying. This is the love that I've had, I have, not had, have for this human being that plays with the ball.
You sure it's not your daughter? You sure it's not your daughter?
I don't want you interrupting, Ali, because I'm gonna give you
I
your
told me I
time.
cover
This is
you, man.
about Marla. No, this is not your time. I know you have all the artery there and the eloquent words to put behind it, and I appreciate the support. But this is from Marla right now. As much as I love Crystal just like a diamond, believe you me, this is Marla time, and I'm pretty sure as much as Crystal want to be jealous, she understands that this is Marla we're talking about. Marla Sweatman. I have sweat as a man because of this woman, and I will continue to sweat as a man because of this woman. And I can remember an interview she did once with Ryan LFC, and she said, and Ryan asked her, "What would you do if you weren't doing football?" She said, "I don't know, maybe some marketing, PR work, or fashion." And I jumped in and I comment, "You wouldn't look like Miss Universe." And I'm telling you, girl, if you take that up, trust me, you right now could go on Miss Universe stage and rock the world just like that. Wherever you are, Marlo, whatever you're doing, your number one fan. Anyone you had in that position, kick them out. You have my permission because I'm taking it over. That's why I'm Sir W1, not two, not three, Sir W1. I'm the number one fan you got. And I make no apology. I love all the other reggae girls. Don't get me twisted. I love them. Yes. But when it comes to my number one bosom friend, you ever watch that girl take a set piece yet? You ever watch her take a set piece? Huh? You ever watch her from the corner line putting that ball right in the net? You ever seen that? The only what's her name? Silver. This Silver she name? I've seen done something close like that before for the reggae girls. That's my love, Marlo. Whatever you're taking on, I heard someone commented earlier on that she is now at Mount Pleasant. Oh, pleasant it is that you're in Jamaica, and how pleasant that you can be at Mount Pleasant. But what would be pleasant is that if you see me before you leave Jamaica, because I would love that, honestly. And whatever you're doing there, I applaud you. I support you, and I would recommend also that you try your utmost best and try and get into the administration side of football and work your way up the FIFA branch, because we need the support as Jamaicans. We need to be up there. We need to make our voices heard. Wherever we go, we're loud, proud, and we don't bow to anyone. I'm gonna have to use a line from a famous politician. We walk on our feet, not on our knees when we're going into anything. That's how we are. And that's what I see you as, Marlo. So from me to you, love unlimited. And wherever you go, whatever you do, remember, we love you. LOVE at its best. Open and close quotation, underline many times. Crystal, thank you for this opportunity to express my inner heart. And Mr. Lee, it's your turn now. You can take over.
No, man, you sure
Yeah.
Thank
selling
you.
your daughter? You sure selling your daughter?
Well, listen, my man. I won't contest anything with you. I've said my piece and I'm at peace now. I can go. I can now go back to my driving and listen to you and
No,
Crystal
man, you
wrap up the
can't left
show.
us say yet, man. You can't left us say yet, man. No, man. Crystal, make sure make sure that you need the number. Because I don't want to talk about something different after this, okay? We already to know
Okay.
that we're doing. Yeah, man. Go
Okay.
ahead, Crystal.
No, as I said, when I was putting the show together, knew that I had to somehow try to get a hold of Sir W1, because I know over the years he's always if there's ever a reggae girl that he has asked me about, it's all Marla Sweatman. He's always been a massive fan of Marla Sweatman. Like he said to you guys, that's his favorite player. And the video there in front, as I said, it's been out there before where Marla is talking about her retirement, which again, I'm not sure why the JFF hasn't done anything for her yet. But one of the videos here from today clearly it says day one in the life of a retired soccer player, and this is where
Ooh.
making her trip to Jamaica. And it says, you can check her Instagram. It says, thanks to Mount Pleasant and this sport, I'll be spending this week learning at one of Jamaica's top clubs. So currently on home soil, learning at Mount Pleasant. And I like the fact that she hasn't forgotten about us, you know, because someone said it earlier on. Oftentimes these players, and it's not just a diaspora issue. It's not about a diaspora, it's just players, which is why I say these players. Players come, they represent us, and they just don't really do much for Jamaica or even consider doing anything for Jamaica. But it's great. And I love the fact that it's a player that's bored, staying close to home, because a lot of people have this resentment towards diaspora players. So I am so happy to see what Marlo is doing. Big up the president, Issa Allen. He says, big up Marlo. Thank you for your service. One of the best in the game. And like I said to the gentleman on the screen, Sir W1, that is one of his, not one, that is his favorite reggae girl. So it made sense hearing him share his words, his thoughts on Marla Sweatman. I want to ask him a question though before we close off. Just got maybe some 2 minutes or so. Sir W1, did this one caught you by surprise when you heard about Marla?
Listen,
How did you feel?
Indeed, I saw the clipping. I saw the clipping, and ironically, I was driving from West Jamaica to East Jamaica, and I was in the cool hills of Mandeville, just about to connect with the toll road when the prompt came in, and I took a glance on it, and I just pulled. For those who know Manchester and Mandeville area, good. I was very close to the Yam Park, and when I saw it, I just pulled over into the Yam Park area, looked at it, but I couldn't respond because I was on time. I was on timing, let's put it that way. So I had to keep going. And I while driving along the highway, I keep saying to myself that she's too young. She's too young, man. Too young now to do that. But then a little voice come to me and says, why not now? Why not do it now when you're young and move on to something even greater? Now I haven't had any conversation with her, but I right there, it's like a voice tell me that she could be possible setting up herself to go into sport management and all that, administration and all that, and may even reach to the FIFA line. And that's where my heart goes. And that settled me, yeah, for the rest of the trip going in. And I'd planned to do some research to check your portal along with others to see if there was anything coming out on it, and nothing. So when you alerted me today, I was excited. I told you that I'll be on the road, but I'll pull over, and yes, I did, because I pull over right now, and I'm going to Westmoreland. And I'm in St. Anne. I'm at Discovery Bay as we speak, just across from the police station. To be exact, that's where I am right now, and that's how important it is. Yeah, and so I was taken aback at first, but I eased my mind because I know that she's very intelligent, and she's forthwith, and I know she makes very good decisions. And with that, I comfort my heart and said she must be going into something like that, into sports management or administration. And if she does, I hope that FIFA steps are one of the ladders that she'll be climbing on to get up to the top. And I'll throw this at you, Crystal. Try your best to get her on for an interview. Yes.
Oh my God.
So that
You're throwing me under the bus with that one.
I'm not the boss. I'm showing you right in the front seat, girl. You need to drive us there because we're gonna be inside that bus with you. That's what we're gonna.
All right. I can't make no promises, but I'll try. I'll try to get an interview with Marlo for you guys. We actually planned an interview a while back, and then it just didn't come to fruition. But I'm the type of person that when I feel like something isn't quite right, I need to give people their space. And I felt like at the time that we had planned the interview, I think from an outsider looking on, it appeared that she was dealing with a lot. And I just said, you know what, I'm not going to pressure her. The interview, she agreed to it. Didn't come to fruition. No hard feelings. If it's to be, it will be. You know, so I could touch base with her again at some point and see if she's up for an interview. But she did say yes before. It's just that I recognize that at the time there must have been a lot that she was going through, hence not pushing and asking for the
Right,
interview. But I think it
right.
can be done.
Sorry to interject here, but I must take this moment out to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You are such a being. You don't only look out selfishly for yourself, and as a broadcasting journalist as I am, and for the 40 odd years that I'm in the business, we when we're going after that story, we
Yeah.
tend not to give hoots about what what pains or atrocities it may cause when hunting that
Yeah.
story. And so it
Yeah.
takes a man and a woman who shares the pain of others to really look into it and say, no, you know what, by me pushing I can cause or create certain pain, and I wouldn't want that, so let me ease back a bit. It takes it, because you see, we can get lost in the realm of getting this, well, getting collecting and dispensing information. We can get caught
100%.
up in that, just to
Yeah.
make a headline, just to get the
Yeah.
notes out there.
Yeah.
And I applaud you for using this kind of foresight to look deep in it and say, you know what, she may be in a spot. You're not saying she was in a spot, she may be in a
Exactly.
spot, so let me
Exactly.
take a step back and allow time to process this thing. So I,
Yeah.
I raise my hat to you, for that. You're a
No.
stalwart, and I entrust and I hope and pray that you'll continue in this vein, because you are the creme de la creme, and no one can take your spot. Just remember that.
No,
No one can
thank
take your spot. Others will come and try to do, and others may label them as doing better than, but there's no one can take that first place from you. He's always first and will always be first.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's one of the things of me being a journalist. It's something that I recognized about myself, and it's something that I'm very proud of. I'm not the type to run after the headlines. I'm not going to do it. I try to be as objective as I can be. Sometimes the negativity outweighs the positive, but such is life. But I try to be negative. I'm not the type to chase stories, although it's funny because as a journalist, I mean, we all know what journalists are typically like, and they
Indeed.
will check the story and they will be knocking at your door. But for me, I look at players and athletes, first and foremost, you're a human being. And I look and I say to
Indeed.
myself, would I like to be treated like that? The answer is no. Would I like my loved ones to be treated like that? The answer is no. So there goes my moment to say, okay, I need to back off and let them be. If the interview is going to happen, it will happen. I've had times where I've interviewed a particular reggae girl and she was like, I want to be interviewed by you again. And she came to me with a story, and it was a story that would have like made a lot of headlines, but I had to tell her, I was like, look, you're still at this club. Now is not the right time to talk about what you're experiencing with them, because yeah, you might move on from the club, but if you stay in that country, it could get very dark for you. So let's not talk about that. I appreciate the fact that you loved our interview and you want to be interviewed by me again. That makes me feel really proud, but I care more about you as a human being than a couple of hundred views or whatever. If that interview is going to come and it's going to be the thing that gives my channel the breakthrough that it needs, then it will happen at any given time that we sit down. So that's the way I look at my potential interviewees. It's, look, you come first, my thing that I do comes second. I had an interview with a particular reggae boy some years back where, again, he spoke about the foul treatment that he received at his club and bullying and threats of violence. And I pre-recorded the interview and I said to him, hey, look, have a sit down with your people, your representative, and let them watch the interview. And he was just like, yeah, they said it's good, let's put it out. And I was just like, I pointed out where the headlines could come from. And I said, hey, look, you said XYZ, and this could get dark for you. Like, again, point that out to them. And he listened to it and he was like, oh, wow, like I watched it and my parents don't want the interview to go out. And he was so apologetic. And I was like, you don't need to apologize. I just wanted you to see what I could see and how it could look on you. Although it's going to do good for my platform, it could get dark for you and you could potentially put your life in greater risk. And instantly he was like, can we do the interview again? Please, whenever you're ready, let's do the interview. And we ended up doing another interview, but that first interview would have been an unbelievable moment. It would have been, no doubt for me, my most viewed video. But again, the views
Mhm.
means absolutely nothing when I've ruined someone's life. It doesn't mean nothing to me, you know. So that's me, and that's the way it is. And if that means my platform is gonna be slowly growing and take 100 years to get to where I want it to be, then so be it. As long as I can go to
Yeah.
bed at night and say I did the right thing, that's all that matters to me, you know.
Indeed.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to allow you to go because I know you're on the road and you blessed me with a moment of your time. And I've almost been streaming for 2 hours. I think the guys in the comment section deserve the 2 hours because they've been waiting about a week for a live stream. But
Great.
tonight I had to close off by speaking about Miss Marlo Sweatman. It's an emotional retirement, guys. Before I forget my manners, big up you guys there in the comment section for blessing me with a moment of your time. I can't attempt to name you all because I'm going to forget some of you. Big up to Mr. Lee. Big up to also Sir W1, CC Sports, BAM Sports, Chemo, all those guys there for coming onto the platform. Thank you so much for blessing me with a moment of your time. It does not go unnoticed. Bless up to the Prezi in the comment section. That is Mr. Issa Allen, the president of the Reggae Boys and Reggae Girls Supporters Club. Any final comments there before we close off, Sir W1?
Yes, I'm looking forward to the match tomorrow for the Reggae Boys. I'm hoping that they will be successful. I'm somewhat sure that they will be successful. I'm more looking at a 3-0. Yeah, I don't do predictions, but that's what my heart is telling me. A
Who's
3-0. I'm
scoring?
looking. Sorry?
Who's scoring? Who's your goal scorers?
To be honest with you, if Bowser start, I'm looking at least one from him. I think Leon Bailey gonna get one inside there. I think
I
he's gonna
feel
get
so
one.
too, you know. I feel so too.
Huh?
For some reason, I'm backing you on that. I feel like these are the games, you
Yeah.
know, no disrespect to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but these games should be bread and butter for the likes of Leon Bailey and Demarai Gray, you know.
Yes, indeed,
A break.
indeed. And I was gonna mention him and Bobby Reed, maybe the other there. I don't think anyone will get a brace, but if it happens, it means that they score more than 3. That's just my thing. And I'll be in the stadium on the 25th.
Oh, you're going
Definitely.
to the game.
I'm going to the games on the 25th. I've cleared my slate because I didn't get to go when Messi was here. So I'm going to the games on the 25th. So I'll be in the stadium for sure.
That's wonderful. You're gonna meet the general Leon Bailey. That is his name, the general, you know. So hopefully
So no more
they put
Chippy? No more
that's
Chippy.
his name. I mean Chippy, but the general is back. I don't know if you
I'm
missed
so
that
used to
one.
Chippy that anything else sounds foreign.
You know what? Chippy the general. Chippy the
Yeah, all right.
general.
Yeah,
General.
we'll do that.
We can work with
We'll do that.
General Chippy. But
I'll see if
again,
I
you know,
can get close enough and get a picture.
listen, that would be unbelievable. He seems like a nice lad, so I'm sure he'll give you a picture if you ask him. But
Indeed.
I hope you have
Indeed.
a safe journey. I know you're currently driving. I myself,
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have an early start. It is almost, what time is it? It's almost 3 a.m. So I do have to close off on my live stream. But it's been a pleasure speaking with yourself, Sir W1. You guys
The
in the
pleasure
comment
is
section.
mine. The pleasure is mine. I think it does more for me than you, no matter how much you want to put it up on the scale. I think it does more for me than you. And again, Marlo, if you're listening, enough love, plenty love. Sad to see you go, but I know for sure that you'll be going into other areas where I can hear and monitor you, and I look forward to that. And I want to say good night to all your fans and everyone in the comment lines and so on. You know,
Absolutely.
thank you, and have a good night, and God bless
Thank
each and every
God
one.
bless you. Mr. Lee, I didn't notice that you was in the behind us in the studio. My apologies. We're about to close off, Mr. Lee. If you're still there, any final comments before we close off?
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, sir. We can hear.
Yeah, my phone died, man. I plugged the wrong thing. I didn't plug the what you call it, is it
I
charger
thought you
in.
fell asleep, so that's okay. I thought you just fell asleep.
No, man, my phone died. But the other phone was running, so I was like, yeah. So, um, big up, sir, number one. Thank you for coming in, and everybody. Thank you
Blessing,
all for a good show.
blessing,
Crystal,
blessing, and
big up yourself.
blessing every time. Blessing.
Yeah, man. Sorry about I never have the charger for the phone running. All right, you guys have a good night. Big up, one love.
Guys, in the comment section, if you're making your way home from work or you're heading towards work, any personal attack is, I do hope that you make it home or to your destination safe and unharmed, because doing so is an underrated blessing. The headline does read for itself: Marla Sweatman's emotional retirement. If you're just tuning in, you will have to watch this one back on replay. Okay, so big up you guys there in the comment section. Do expect a live watch along of the Reggae Boys versus St. Vincent and the Grenadines from the Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club. I'm still looking to do something on my channel as well, so do keep your eyes peeled for tomorrow's game. Okay, and I'm going to have to love you and leave you. If you've not hit the like button, please do go ahead and do so. Also, if you're new to the channel, kindly go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and you know how it goes. Until next time, take care.
Big up.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.